So we have talked about several different projects over the years,
Yeah, yeah.
uh, but I can tell that Primitive War is special to you. I can just tell by your excitement over like social media posts and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So talk to me about that. Why is this project special to you?
Well, I loved working with everybody on it. It was just like one of the this is one of the best experiences I'd ever had. But it was kind of a quick turnaround. It was like okay, you're getting this if you want to do this thing, but you don't have a lot of time to decide. They want you out there and like now, not right now, but it was like days later, and I was like, oh fuck. But so then I was a bit nervous because it's like the character's like from like Kentucky or something. I don't want to offend Ethan Pettis, the writer of the novel, um, because I can't remember exactly where he's from. And the reason I can't remember is A, it was over a year ago that we shot it. B, uh, we kind of abandoned some of it. Like, um, and that's one of the things that made it so fun was like Luke basically was like the filmmaker. I loved working with him. Um, he he was so humble, and I was nervous that I was like, oh man, I don't know if I can do a good job on such short notice. And like, certainly, I don't think I can do an accent and, like a Southern accent on like days' notice that's going to be decent. Like, and he just put my mind at ease right away and was like, look, don't, I'd rather fit the character to you than have you try to fit the character. And, I mean, that's a paraphrase, but that, basically said that. I mean, there's just so much about how I loved how like we shot in Gold Coast. Gold Coast of Australia is fucking stunning. Um, there for a month and a half in beautiful weather. Like it's like it was incredible. Um, I'm on set with like it was a squad of 7 soldiers. We were in most of the scenes together, so like, and we're traveling as a group. You don't usually get to be in like a TV show or whatever, you paired off and you do have a scene with whatever, and that's cool too. But it was so fun to like we did some military training stuff with the technical advisor, Freddie Joe Farnsworth. He's fucking amazing, and just obviously a great resource. And he's a riot, and we didn't even get to do much. We did like a day and a half of training or something. But so we did that a little bit, and then we're all in the boot camp is way too aggressive, but like like we're all kind of still training because Freddie Joe's there, like telling us shit, like no, hold your weapon differently, and like don't aim it like that, whatever. We're kind of training the whole time, and we're getting closer. Um, we we just really bonded, and so I loved the group of actors. I just loved everybody. I found Luke to be very um just good at what he was doing, but also just humble and nice, and like I just loved working with him. And then he gave all of us a lot of freedom. He basically just said like with starting with a script that was already good. He was like,
Mhm.
you can like kind of tweak it. Like you can, if you want to say things differently, your way, go. Like you can add things, whatever. So yeah, just a long leash. I got a long, he gave me a lot of freedom, um, and uh, and so I got to kind of come up with what the character was rather than try to fit
Mhm.
um, a description. And I don't know. I think it's fascinating because he does this thing that I'm sure someone else in the industry has done, but like it seems so rare where he just finds people he likes that he's just like, I saw this thing you did and I'm a fan of it. So I want you in the movie. And then I saw this, you do this thing online and you're good in that. So I want you in the movie. I love that it's not like precious about like, you have to fit this character description. It's like, he just cobbles together this thing where he's like, I, I like all these people and then just kind of trusts them to create a character. And eh, anyway, so I just thought that that was such a fun way to work. So yeah, it was just and like the concept is insane. I love that. Like he made the fun choice to like ground it and make the military stuff authentic because apparently the novel doesn't do that as much. Um, and I thought that was really smart. So like there were just things I appreciated about his script anyway, and um, yeah.
So with the character in the novel, it describes Eli as an Appalachian hick, a Kentuckian. Um, and it presents him, it seems to be like he's drinking when he shouldn't be drinking, and he's crass and these kinds of things. So is that what we see, and what else can you say about the character?
Well, he's not a hick now.
Okay.
Um, and only because of I hate to say, because of the time limitations. It would have been fun to try to do an accent, but I just didn't want to do it distractingly badly. He's still technically from there uh because it's in the lines. I still say things like, something about the Smoky Mountains and about I think say something like, and he still says his certain phrasings that are a bit like, someone from that area, but like yeah. So people might be like, "What the fuck? Isn't he from there? Why doesn't he talk like this?" But I'm like, sorry. I mean, it's an indie movie. We had to move quick, and I didn't want to. Trust me, if
Mhm.
I did the other thing badly, you'd be like, "This guy sucks at this," and I'd rather. I had to pick a problem, and I
Mhm.
think the better problem is not doing the accent, but preserving performance and having you be like, by the end, being like, well, I liked him. I just don't know why he didn't talk like with an accent. I'd
Mhm.
rather that than I couldn't fucking stand his fucking shitty accent the whole time. um,
Fair.
so, so he's not that, but he is a drinker. But yeah, I mean, a lot of the rest of it, I just kind of like took cues from, how people react to him in the script, um, and some of the things that I was written to say, I was like, oh, this is like a kind of dickish thing to say, or like a mood killing thing to say right now. That's funny to me. Okay, so then maybe he's that kind of guy. Maybe he's the kind of guy that like says fucking annoying shit all the time. um you know uh so yeah.
The character is also described as, I think I saw this on Facebook. The character is also described as a battle-hardened soldier with a moral code. So is that, I mean, is that accurate? Or, and because that seems like we're talking about two different things. Like it sounds like he's complex a little bit.
I imagined him to be atheist. There's a couple moments, at least in the script. I can't remember if I saw an early cut, so I I think some of this stuff is still in there, but like there's just things that suggest like, again, I'm not even sure if he intended the lines the way I took them sometimes, but like there's a moment where someone says like, well, something like God, help us or something. I can't remember what my character says, like, fuck him. But I think the way it read, my character was maybe saying that about this other character. But I took it like he was saying, fuck him about God. If that's the way he feels. His name is Eli. That's like a biblical name. So if you got a biblical name, then you probably had parents who were believers. If you're an atheist now, what was the moment of disillusionment? You know? So I imagined that he had like a hard upbringing that made him kind of realize, oh, being a believer doesn't mean you're a good person. And where he just it broke the spell of like belief where he's like, I don't need to believe this shit. Like, and I'm surrounded by other, you know, other believers like in my town, but I don't feel supported by these people. I don't feel like that, whatever. And but then and so he became and also like just where did this caustic personality come from where he's like kind of always, you know, being kind of an asshole. Um so I felt like it all was kind of built up around this stuff like, you know, probably felt abused and like by people who believed in God and stuff. And so just but then only learned to trust people when he was with these guys. Like only they're the people he trusts. They're like it's like I believe in the tangible this that we have, this friendship, this camaraderie. I don't believe in God. And so I think that's probably kind of the moral code he's talking about, that it's like I don't have God guiding me like the way some of these other guys, and the way like there's a thing with my with the character that my it's like everybody kind of has like a little bit of a partner um in it, at least in our introductions. You see like we're introduced in pairs. There's one person who doesn't because it's a squad of seven, um but he's like the strong silent type and stuff. But the guy my character is most often paired up with, he's a believer. He believes in God, and so he gets his moral code from that. But I feel like, I don't have faith. I have them, and I have
Hmm.
like trust in and love for them, and I'll have their back at all costs. As much of a fucking pain in the ass as I am, because I don't think he believes in much else.
All right, so the dinosaurs.
Yeah,
Uh, is it a mystery as to why there are dinosaurs in Vietnam? Is that part of the story? Is that there's a mystery to it, or is it something we
yeah.
find out right away? Okay.
Well, I mean, yes. It's funny because I wouldn't even call it a mystery exactly, but I guess it is. Like, because thank God Luke didn't write something where he kept our characters all like too dumb for too long, where we're calling these things like basically pretty quickly everybody starts calling them dinosaurs. Like um which I like rather than they do go like there's no way they do think, is that some kind of weird fucking bird or is that some kind of weird whatever, like um at first, but then pretty quickly we're like, I think these are fucking dinosaurs. And I like that because I when I watch a movie, they're like, and the characters are like, there's no way it's a ghost or whatever, and it's like just obviously a ghost. It's like how many fucking times you have to see. Um, so again, I don't know if mystery is the right term, but I do think at a certain point we're like, okay, so these are dinosaurs. What the fuck? And and then there is an explanation. It's also in the novel, so I'm not, I like for people going to see the movie, I kind of don't want to blow it because I think that's one of the, you know, yeah, I just think it's one of the reasons to kind of hang in there and um, but yeah, I don't know. There's kind of like a fun explanation for it that I think is like ends up being almost like it ends up feeling like the to me like the dinosaurs are kind of like an analogy for or the technology or whatever that allowed them to come, to be that created this problem where they're here now, is like an analogy the for like the atomic bomb
Hmm.
or something, whether Ethan intended it that way or not, I don't know, but like that's how I read it. When I read the script, I was like, oh, I think the dinosaurs or and this technology is sort of like a stand-in for that. Like basically nobody should have the ability to wield these monsters or wield the thing that you know created the problem. So
It's funny to me too that the in the trailer, one of the things that I don't think it's said, I think it's just, one of the intertitles on the trailer says, "This ain't no walk in the park." And we just had a Jurassic Park
Yeah, yeah,
come out.
yeah, yeah. That's no, that's
Timing
good.
is great.
Yeah, it's a great line. It's a great line. And I could be wrong, but I think Luke came up with that. Yeah, it's a great, because and it's not like he- he was a big fan of, as far as I know, that at least the first Jurassic Park movie. So he's not like saying like he's not trying to throw shade, which is a term I've never used, but but I think he's saying like, he's being tongue in cheek about like this is a different version of dinosaur shit. Like you haven't seen a slasher R-rated, you know, uh, uh, like kind of indie horror take on dinosaurs.
Hmm.
Um, yeah.
So as far as that goes, just without spoilers or anything, is there a favorite scene that you can kind of talk about in terms of filming something that I expect that this has got that certain level of gore? So any kind of favorite moments as far as that kind of stuff is concerned?
When someone is being eaten alive and they're shrieking, uh, one of the dinosaurs puts its like claw over his mouth to silence it while it eats him. And I was just like, and that was my guess is that was invented in the edit. That was just like because the actor didn't wasn't screaming and then suddenly silenced himself like he was being. So there was no direction to do that on the day. So they just found this. They just had made this choice when they were creating the effects, and I was like, that's a cool like
Hmm.
uncomfortable thing. So just small detail, but I just loved it. Um, uh, uh, yeah, it gave me a little chill when I watched it.
How much is CGI? Like what at what point are you looking, are you pretending to look at a dinosaur? Do you know what I'm saying? How are you filming the dinosaurs in the action?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll tell you two stories. One time, so basically they just sometimes would rig a rope to a bush and tug on the rope so that the bush moves in real life. So we know we all kind of look there, and then they've rigged a rope to another bush and whatever, and it's like, oh shit. So that you feel the characters feel surrounded, but then they so there's shit like that. I know someone gets like dragged. I'm sure they had to like put rope around something, maybe harness them or put rope around their feet or something and then drag them. So that's like some of the ways that they found to like have the people interact with the things. But a lot of the time it was just like eye line. It's like, okay, that this thing appears here and it's this tall, and this is what it's doing, and we're like, fuck, okay, so we just gotta go crazy. And then there was one scene where we're in a building trying to hunker down, and there's these windows, and we can see them in the distance, but eventually they come closer, and so they're rustling. That like they had they had someone in like a green screen suit or something, like going around to the windows, like messing with like there's like little like greenery. There's like shrubbery kind of poking through and that whatever, but like branches and some growth like poking through the windows, and that would get jostled as this person kind of came through. So that kind of thing helped, like, so that there's something interacting with the foliage and whatever the environment, so that when they animate something there, it's not just a you know branch sitting still. And then we know where to look. We know which window to look at during this crazy shit. And then I'm trying to think what else. Oh, there was one. This is fun. Uh, one day Luke hired someone who like it's like they have like a trailer or something where they have a dinosaur suit, and they you can hire this person and they go around like in the dinosaur suit. I think it's like a guy and then someone else who operates the head or something, or like the mouth or something. And so like it's this person like walking around in a dinosaur suit. You can see their legs sticking out, but like
Oh God.
it's like like in like leotards or something. But otherwise, it's a pretty cool effect. Like you can it looks like you have a fucking dinosaur in your room.
It's
Um,
amazing.
and so yeah, so they had this guy kind of like walking in, and then they just animated something over him for the but they used him in the shot, but they just animated something over him for the film. But yeah, he kind of just did that so that we had something to react to, I guess,
Yeah.
um and yeah, it was cool. It was cool. And it scared Luke one day. Like again, like because I guess he wasn't expecting to see it at a certain point, and he kind of rounded a corner, was like, "Oh shit!" Um, yeah, yeah,
They can't. He brought it all to life
yeah, yeah.
accidentally.
And I
Uh,
think he hired the same people to do it's for the premiere in Sydney, I think, or maybe it was Gold Coast. Like it might I don't know if it's the same company or what, but like yeah, like somebody was there at the premiere in a fucking dinosaur costume.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, just last question for anyone, if you're trying to encourage an audience to come see this, like, what's your quick kind of description? What's your quick pitch to get somebody to come see the movie?
Uh, Dinosaurs in Vietnam, guys. What are you doing not going to see this insane idea? The like Luke said that everywhere he went, like he would do Comic Cons for other movies he's made and stuff, and they'd ask like, "What's your next thing?" And he's like, "Well, I'm thinking of this or this." And anytime he mentioned this dinosaur Vietnam movie, everybody would be like, "Wait, what? You have to make that movie next." All of my friends are like, when is your dinosaur Vietnam movie coming out? um, so I feel like the concept is just like is such a hook. I don't even need to put much more bait on there. But then there's great performances. There's great the effects are really good. Like for you know, there's personality, there's some humor, um it's shot beautifully, but also it's fucking bloody and uh it's rated R and it's like and also go support some indie filmmakers. This stuff like it feels like there's like Marvel movies and then there's like hobbyists, like people who just are like hoping to make something with a few bucks and hopefully get it screened at a film festival or something and maybe get a chance to make something else. Like they funded this largely by themselves. Um, I mean, I don't know for sure about that, but like it seems like I think they did. So yeah, it's like let's support indie filmmakers because this is like we don't get things like that. And it was so ambitious to make like an effects heavy indie. What are you doing?
Yeah,
But I want them to get to make more. I want people to get to make more like this. So yeah, it's you don't get a bloody all the other dinosaur Vietnam movies, all the other dinosaur movies are not as they're not rated R, man.
fair
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you. Thanks.